Welcome to Woke Mental Wellness presents Windy City Nihilism. This is a 12 Inner Demons homebrew campaign. Cinziak plays Romero Marcus, the targeted. Imris plays Janessa Wallace, the human street medic. Blue plays Ruin, the social media vampire demon. And Cassie is the storyteller, playing the NPCs and the rest of the world. Windy City Nihilism is an urban horror podcast series. We do not shy away from touchy topics in the politics of horror, mental health, games, and life as a person of targeted identities. Series-wide content warnings include violence, manipulation, state surveillance, police, player conflict, gentrification, racism, unwanted romantic gestures, anti-Blackness, sexism, tension, body paralysis, trauma, monstrous forms, complicated relationships, sex, toxic work environments, death, hopelessness, blood, Eldrich horror, colonization, and existential crisis and dread. Please take care of yourself as you listen. And remember, hope and resistance do best in community. Welcome back to another episode of Woke Mental Wellness presents Windy City Nihilism. Where we last left off, our crew had not been successful in breaking the first seal they found, finding it a bit overwhelming. They had to retreat, but they were able to successfully retreat. However, now our group is scattered and discovering the consequences of this latest excursion. Romero, your sleep is fitful. You toss, you turn. There is the world that you first entered the first night that the clock appeared on your hand, and you're back. It is chaos. The sky is bleeding. People are running. They are screaming. The sounds of boots on the pavement echo through the streets. What are you doing?
Am I in the street or am I in my house?
You're in the streets.
I guess seeing what like a whole bunch of threat assessment. I think it's like looking at the directions that people are running, trying to keep eyes on where the police are, and keeping anybody who's nearby from being grabbed.
You do so, and then the ground beneath you starts to quake. Even the police seem caught off guard. And then in front of you is you, but dressed in a police uniform, staring you dead in the eye. This way it doesn't matter whether or not you freeze. This way you don't have to do anything. The ground begins to split, just like before people start falling in. Just past the shoulder of the you in the uniform, you see Janessa running, looking behind her, running without looking forward, straight towards the crack that is splintering and pulling apart this street.
And there's a me in front of me in the police officer uniform in the middle of all of this.
Yeah, loosely in front of you, not like crowding you or stopping you from moving around it, but they're just standing there in front of you.
I kind of watched Janessa running. My first instinct is to try to stop her from running straight into this giant sprawling mob.
Mm-hmm. How do you do that?
I think I just try to head her off. There is a very real concern that if I just tell her, or if I just try to tell her, that she won't listen to me.
Feeling that lack of trust that you won't be listened to, you bolt out. The you in front of you doesn't even lift an arm. In fact, it just wisps out of existence as you brush past, running for Janessa. You intercept her. What do you do?
Janessa, Hello?
This Janissa just looks at you. Uncharacteristically quiet, just looking. As the rumbling of the earth gets louder, closer.
Is he trying to run past me?
No. You caught her. She stopped. She's just looking at you, waiting to hear what you have to say.
You need to go.
This version of Janissa nods and waits.
I just turn her around in the opposite direction and start sending her that way.
Do you go with?
I'm assuming most of the people have cleared out at this point for whatever this thing is. Well, I mean, as many people could, given the chaos, so I do.
You run with Janissa, and as you do, behind you, the rumbling of the earth continues, and it opens. Like a smiling, sharp-toothed mouth, it swallows the people unfortunate enough to not have run as fast and as far as you, and you hear the screams turn to silence. No more human voices, just cracking pavement. And then nothing as you run and run and run. And once you start to feel out of breath, in a cold sweat, you jolt awake. It's morning.
I think the morning finds me feeling somewhat resentful that I have to even be awake.
Resentful that you even have to be awake. Do you lay in bed or do you get up?
I'll lie in bed for another 5 minutes.
You stay laying in bed. And then what?
Once those 5 minutes are over, I'm like, well, demons and all, you're gonna have to go outside anyway, so let's get to it. It's a thing where, anybody else would be like, Romero, who are you talking to? That type of thing. He makes his way to the shower. Most of those steps feel like steps taken while wearing a weighted vest.
In the shower, you do notice that your hand clock has moved again. Another day gone by. One day closer to what could be the end.
There's a moment that he considers, maybe I should have stayed.
You consider this and you know where that mirror is. You can go back anytime you like. Janissa, how did you sleep?
I have slept fitfully. The nightmares, they still come, and I think last night they were worse than they've been in a long time, but still there. So, tossing and turning, and then finally getting up sometime around 5:30 a.m. and just giving up. I've been up for a few hours at this point already.
Yeah. Early day. At least you won't be late for work.
I'm already dressed for work, been dressed for work, sitting at my dining room table. My phone is on the table in front of me. I have text message that's been typed out, and I've just been staring at it, going back and forth about whether or not I should hit send.
What does the text message read?
It says, "Hey, heard you were at the school yesterday. Joanna said the kids loved it. How'd you even hear about?" And it just cuts off because I haven't really finished the thought. Do I want to say us? Do I want to say the program? I haven't decided. I'm stuck. And I've just been staring at my phone on the table in front of me for like an hour.
You've been staring for an hour. It's time to make a decision. Are you going to finish this and send it? Or are you going to go to work?
I look at the time. I reach for my phone and I push the button to lock the screen. I slide it into my bag where it's hanging on one of the chairs. I pick up my bag and turn, walk out my front door, lock it behind me. And I just start walking to work. It's way early, way early, but I feel like I need the time.
You walk. It's early, so the street is still quiet. Or you remember that there was quiet, but today, it's the quiet. There's the celestial monies, and then there's of course the lots with the coming soon, and now it seems like foundations have been laid and the condos are progressing, and there are, at first you don't think anything about it because there's a squad car on the block, but that's, that happens. You're not too far, and there's the celestial money now, so they might be getting coffee, but then it's fairly quiet. But the people you do pass, they seem to be upset, moody, on edge, looking around, checking their surroundings. It feels weird, tense. And then another squad car passes, and then a couple of bike cops. There are so many more police on your route to work than you have ever seen. It seems like they're fucking everywhere. Watching, staring, driving by, idling.
I take notice of it. I sigh. And I just keep walking.
You keep walking. You keep seeing more. And you get to the school. Not as early as you could have been. That's for certain, given how early you were up, but still early, which is why it is so surprising. The black Escalade outside.
Do I recognize it?
You don't recognize it. It looks nice, looks new. But what you do recognize, coming out of the school, at first you don't recognize the first man who comes out. He's wearing a very colorful hoodie and just some run-of-the-mill jeans and some rather nice Jordans, to be honest. They match. Everything matches very well. He's rather attractive, tall, muscular, but not overly so. You don't recognize him. The man who walks out after him, you do recognize. Ola. Coming out of your school, your program. They make their way to the Escalade and open the doors and seem to be pulling out boxes.
I just walk right past them into the school, into the gymnasium.
Heads in the car. They don't notice as they are working on, it seems like, pulling out more boxes of things. You get into the school, you head into the gymnasium, and you see already there are tables set up. There's stuff for indoor soccer, little goals and nets that you all didn't have before. There's a music corner that you didn't have before. There are new tables that can be pulled out for lunches and different ones for crafts. You don't have to try and hurry up and clean the tables. There's actually enough tables. There's enough chairs. There are pencils and crayons and colored pencils and all of the things that you have been asking for, running low on. It seems like it's here. Set up. The day has been set up. It even looks like there are new snacks. Name brand. Gatorade, Fritos.
I immediately look around for Joanne.
It's early. Joanne's not here yet. And then the attractive, muscular man walks in and in a somewhat deep voice says, Oh, hey, Janessa, right?
Yes, can I help you?
He puts down his box and says, Oh, yeah, no, Ola told me so much about you. Like, honor to meet you. The work you're doing, absolutely amazing. I'm Nico.
Okay. Can I ask what you're doing here?
And he puts down his box. Heard you needed help. Here to help. And he holds out his hand, and as he's holding out his hand for a handshake, Ola walks in and says, Oh, Nessa, do you love the surprise? I told you I'd come through.
What are you doing here?
Well, helping.
Why?
Because I know we didn't get to fully speak, but I've been trying to tell you, we about the kids, we are here to help. We've gotten a good amount of resources from the city, and, I swung by yesterday to try and talk to you, and you weren't here, but your co-facilitator was short-staffed, said you could use some help. I said, hey, give me a second. I called Nico. Nico was in the neighborhood and we hooked it up.
What are you doing here now?
I mean, Ola looks around, gets a even bigger shit-eating grin on his face and says, I'd like to think I'm hooking it up. Look at all of this. You didn't have all this yesterday.
No, we didn't.
I told you I could help you.
I don't want your help. I thought I made that clear.
Well, sometimes folks be a bit prideful, getting in the way, and
it doesn't have anything to do with pride. I know what your kind of help comes with. That's why I didn't want it.
Listen, the kids benefit if they have what they need. Now they have what they need.
And you have what?
Well,
some more sad, impoverished, underserved youth to post on your various Instagram pages to make yourself feel better that you're helping out, right? Is it possible for you to do anything without having to get something in return for it? Is that something that you are capable of?
It is. It is.
Is it?
It is. There's been no pictures. The only proof is that I just, you know how nonprofits are. We got to account for every dollar. Joanne signed the order affirming that y'all were getting supplies. That's it.
And the fine print says what?
The fine print don't say nothing. There's no fine print, Janessa. Jesus.
I don't believe you.
You know how many other programs there are in this neighborhood for these kids, do you? 0, Janessa. 0. What the fuck what do you think happens to all these kids? If your little...
Don't talk to me about what happens to these kids. This program didn't just magically start. It's been fucking here for a long time. And at no point did you, prior to this point, seem interested in being involved in any way, which is why it's just been me and Joanne. So excuse me for not believing you when you say that this is all just suddenly magically out of the goodness of your heart.
Rising tides, they raise all ships. I didn't have anything.
Just keep the trite bullshit? I didn't like it when we were cool, so I extra don't like it now.
Okay.
You can say whatever you want. This is just out of the goodness of your heart, but I don't believe you. I really don't. But since,
Queen,
it is what it's going to be.
Instead of being nice about it, how about this? Queen of the ungrateful. I'm going to leave this shit here for these kids. And if you want to ruin it by fucking it up and throwing it all away, I have the order signed. That's up to you. Nico's here to help in case you need to run off again. He's on my payroll. Deuces. And Ola turns around and walks away.
I think I just immediately disengage from that conversation. And I'm going to go look for whoever the person is who let them in. Since Joanne isn't here yet, I want to know who that person is.
Okay. You start looking around for maintenance, janitor, somebody. Nico is minding his business, unpacking the boxes, the last of the boxes that they had just brought in. Just trying to keep his head down. And there's up on the second floor about around the corner from your office, you see the janitor, Mr. Sully. He's cleaning out the second floor boys' bathroom.
I'm just gonna wait out outside, and whenever he pops back out to just grab whatever he's grabbing, I'm just gonna say, "Hey, Mr. Sully, good morning. Are you the ones who let those? Are you the one who let those gentlemen in downstairs?"
Oh, yeah. They said they had some stuff for the program. I checked, make sure they were legit. And I was like, I know you like things being on time. So I went ahead and, let them in to set up. Seemed like they were on the up and up. I made sure to watch them. And when they, were actually unloading supplies for the kids, I went about my business. But they said they were on the last couple boxes before I came up to finish the second floor, which is why I'm running just a little bit behind. But I got your back, sweetheart. We got to make sure them kids got what they need.
I just kind of absentmindedly am thinking, say thank you, Mr. Sully, and I go back downstairs to the gymnasium. I go into the little office off the side of the gymnasium where Joanne and I keep our things and extra supplies and just random odds and ends. It's not even really an office, it's more of a storage room.
You go into the storage room and you actually run into Nico. He's unpacking first aid kits and some more drinks, some Capri Suns, some Gatorades, things like that for the kids so that there's extras back here.
And I say, how long have you been working with Ola?
He kind of jumps. He starts. He was in his work, and you see him pull out a headphone actually, and he says, Miss Janessa, yeah, I did some volunteering last summer for one of the camps they were putting on, and then I was in school and then didn't really get the funds together, and so I checked in with Mr. Mance, and been doing odd jobs, maintenance, a little maintenance here, loading, unloading supplies there, just he's been helping make sure I don't get put out of my apartment. So I'd say like off and on for a year, more on in the last 6 months since I had to drop out of school.
He is making sure you don't get put out of your apartment. As in, he's giving you a job.
Yeah. I didn't want to work for some fucking corporation, and it's rough out there, even though like I'm a good student and everything, but if you don't got the degree, they just don't care.
Yeah, I know it.
And between the student loans, helping out my mom, I can tell y'all beefing, and I know you don't know me and you ain't got no reason to trust me, but I need this job, and he's paying a decent rate. So I will scrub toilets. I will clean up kid puke. Please don't fire me.
I didn't hire you, so I don't think I can fire you.
If you want me to leave, I'll leave. But I'm good with kids. I was in a childhood education degree. Like I promise you, he starts fumbling around in a backpack that's on the ground near him, and he pulls out some folded pieces of paper, and he kind of shaking hands opens them and kind of smooths them out and says, I have a resume. Here's my class list. These are my like I had to drop out, but I was doing really well. I had a 3.75, like honors and everything. And he holds out a small stack of papers.
I take it from him and I just look at his resume specifically. I'm curious if he's local.
He's local. It looks as though he's worked at back when the South Shore Library or the South Shore Cultural Center, when they had a summer program for kids. It looks like even in high school, back in high school, he was working with little kids in the summers. He was at UIC, true to his word, studying early childhood education. He had an internship with the public schools for a semester where he was a teacher's aide. It looks like he seems to have had a work-study job. Similarly, also doing some teacher's aide work. And yeah, his transcripts show he was in good standing, but looks like financially couldn't keep up with the payments. So until he can't register for classes. You've seen this a lot before.
I hand him back his resume.
He takes it back, folds it gently, puts it back in the backpack.
Look, I'm not trying to mess up whatever you got going on with Ola. You seem like a decent kid. And I'm sorry that you had to overhear our conversation. But I'm also not going to pretend that I'm happy about this or about the way that it went down. And if it becomes clear at any point moving forward that whatever Ola has going on or whatever he's trying to do is to try to make a name for himself or clout or somehow benefit off of these children in any way, this is over with. So I just want you to be aware of that and know that whether or not you continue to work here and be a part of this program comes down to whether or not he was being honest with me earlier. Because I'm not going to let these kids be exploited for some Gatorades and some fruit snacks.
As far as I know, I am here to carry heavy stuff, help make sure the child to teacher ratio is lower, and that's it. His organization's paying for it, but from what I was told, you're my boss.
I'm just letting you know, because again, you seem like a good kid.
Thank you.
I don't know you, and I'm just saying, you're here not by my good graces or anything. You're here by Ola actually not doing his usual self-serving bullshit for once. And if it turns out that this is just some more of his self-serving bullshit, you will not be here anymore.
Understood, ma'am.
And I'm just gonna kind of just step out of his way and go just kind of get myself together for the rest of the day, try to put my head in a space where I can focus on the kids.
Alexis. Ruin.
Hi.
How do you sleep?
I think Alexis spends the night hovering over Ruin. I think the thought occurs to Alexis like this is the first time that they have ever seen Ruin in such a state, and that maybe any normal person would take this opportunity to rid themselves of a demon that has been haunting them for years now. But Ruin isn't struck with that feeling. They are struck with like worry and anxiety of what has become of a being that they have always viewed as like very powerful. You know, it's like, I believe in God, right? But I have never been so close to God to actually like feel their power. And this is probably the closest thing I would and maybe ever come to something close to that, or like divinity of in such a nature. And so seeing them like this makes Alexis feel like Ruin is just another like being, you know, almost human like and frail. So a little in awe, a little anxious, but they have tucked Ruin into her own bed, and she's just sitting on the computer, probably doom scrolling, honestly, filling out applications for like jobs and stuff, listening to music, and just is occasionally glancing back at Ruin's form in the bed.
So Alexis, do you stay up all night or do you sleep?
I think Alexis ends up staying up till like 4 a.m. until their eyes start burning from staring at the screen all day, and they're like, okay, let me hop on the bed. And Ruin is still there, so I think they take the couch.
Okay. Alexis on the couch. So late. Early. If the birds were still making noise, they would be chirping, but it is quiet.
Every day just gets quieter and quieter. It's so unnerving.
By the time you wake up, you hear the sound of arguing outside.
Like outside the building or inside the apartment building?
Outside the building. Like your window is kind of cracked open and you can hear out on the street, it sounds like some people, they're arguing with each other. It seems petty but heated. Like everyone was on edge looking for a reason for something to be wrong.
I think Alexa's like doing their daily routine. She's brushing her teeth, like walking around the house, kind of straighten up a little bit, and walks past the window, but then like backs up to see what's going on outside, because she's definitely nosy as fuck.
Outside, you see some arguing, and you see no fewer than 6 cop cars pull up.
What?
These 2 people immediately stop arguing, and out of these cars, at least 10 police come out. And the people, they're now not arguing, and they have their hands up, and they're kind of backing away from both each other and the police. They were loud, but they weren't even yelling. There was no threats.
Alexis, like, I like to think that Alexis has like a burner account online that they post from, this little like cheap kind of track minute phone that they have, just like scene 12 over here, be wary, you know what I mean? Like, it's like that type of account.
Yeah.
And so they like take a picture of it, quickly edit it, put stickers over the individuals, like the citizens' faces, but not the cops.
Yeah.
Circles like the cop cars, like numbers on the side of it, and post that real quick. And she shakes her head, finishes getting ready. She's like, come on. It makes Alexis like not even want to leave the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I think while they're also on their phone, they'll shoot a text to like the group chat that they now have with Romero and Janissa. Like, good morning, y'all. Wanted to check on you guys. Can we meet up today? Question mark, question mark, question mark. I think I'll take the day off. And then they stop at that point and then erase it because they really shouldn't be taking the day off right now. Money is already super tight. They trying to move, and Alexis like sends money to their grandmother sometimes too. So they erase that part, but they're like, I'm flexible in like being able to meet, so just let me know what's up. And they'll send it to the group chat.
You send that off. Ruin, as you are asleep, maybe passed out, recovering from what turned out to be a very painful, stressful day. What does a demon's stress dreams look like?
Oh, that's a good question. I think Ruin's stress dreams looks something akin to like not wielding the power that he usually wields, like very much someone who can easily be like an object of attraction and gain the attention of a room and feed off of that. Being forgotten and like left in the shadows is something I think Ruin fears.
Ruin, you're kind of hazy as Alexis brings you home and gets you laid in bed, barely holding on to your ability to even interact with the bed in this world. And so you drift off quickly. But the repercussions of your interactions with those demons today stick with you. And as you drift into a pained, injured sleep, you are in a room full of people. They're chatting, they're milling. It seems like a social event, the kind of thing you love. But you are in the corner. Nondescript outfit. Gray, colorless, eyes, hair, and face. No one pays attention to you. No one sees you there. No one cares that you are in this room.
I think we see Ruin with their fists clenched at their sides and staring like at everyone in the room and is yelling, but no sound is coming out. The room kind of like stretches before them and they are separated from this party and like the brightness of it and everyone going on, and they are left like with a spotlight over them that like I think trembles and then completely shuts off, and they are in this void that just feels like they are like in a mass of scribbles, you know, like they are like just amongst like a world of static, and it's kind of deafening and a bit suffocating for them. even as a creature who like really doesn't need to breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because ruin like embodies to me longing in that sense of wanting to belong and reaching for like that you care of most. And so not being able to reach that and being rooted and stuck in this space, they're like they want to scream, I think.
As you get that feeling of wanting to scream, you come up to you, beautifully colorful, belle of the ball. She comes up and graces you with her presence and says, "You could be someone if you stop choosing to be no one." And twirls back off into the group where she is met with a group of adoring fans, friends, family. They lift her up, chanting her name, "Ruin, ruin, ruin," as she smiles, as he giggles, dancing, belonging. Looks over you at you and winks as you wake up. You're in Alexis's bed.
I think Ruin spent the first few minutes waking up concentrating their form to be firm and not so malleable like Play-Doh. Once they get it together, they sit up in Alexis's bed, surprised, honestly, and then also just like vulnerable, surprised, then disgust at being vulnerable. And they toss the blankets aside and hop out of the bed. And Ruin just shakes his head and puts on a bright smile, because we're not gonna dive into whatever the fuck that just was at all. And walks to find Alexis, I think maybe like in the kitchen, probably like drinking some juice, still looking outside from behind their blinds, trying to be sneaky about it.
Okay.
And I think Ruin is like, what the hell happened? Alexis, I believe, looks surprised to see Ruin in this moment. And it's like, I honestly was going to ask y'all the same thing. I came, you were being eaten, maybe? Ruin's like mind flashes back to the alley and like the everything of that happened. And I don't think Ruin responds. Their smile kind of falters for a second, but Ruin like turns away and pops down on the couch and turns on the TV and starts like flipping through channels. And Alexis is like, oh, okay. So I guess we're not gonna talk about that. Like turns around. Is checking their phone to see if they've like received a response or anything. If they may have like any new notifications or what have you.
Okay. Romero, you finish up in the shower. What is it that you decide to do today?
Well, what day of the week is it?
Oh, I need to keep better track of the days. We're gonna say it's Friday.
So this is our half day, which is good. So check the calendar and see if there are what needs to be done at the office between now and noon.
Mm-hmm. Looks like there is an all-staff meeting that's been called in person.
That tracks. And then I see probably the location sharing thing from Janissa.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the message from Alexis.
You do?
Go, okay, I'll respond to these a little bit later this afternoon. Well, actually, and then pull out the phone. Hey, Alexis, I'll see what things are looking like today after work. I'll keep you posted. In the group chat where Janissa has dropped her location, I just type a series of question marks and hit send. And then put on like
You can see in the chat. So Janessa's location was from last night after y'all left, and then under that, so like today was Alexis's message. They're both in the group chat.
Oh, okay. Like it's one of those long press reply type of situations.
Mm-hmm.
And then I head off to, what time is the staff meeting?
10.
Okay. So I head off to get a coffee and a croissant, and then get to the office probably right at like 9:30, and spend next 20 minutes. Well, depending on who I run into, spend the next 20 minutes after that just like if they're like checking my notes and making sure I have like the just generic, here are the things that people typically ask me about my job whenever I come to this place.
Mm-hmm. You come in, and within 30 seconds of getting to your desk, Kimmy, your manager, is at the door. Hi, Romero. How are you this morning?
Well, another day in paradise.
We are having great weather. Meeting today. I'm just letting everyone know so that no one has to be overly anxious. Miss Farson's gonna be here today. So just know that there may be some other board members. It's no big deal, I'm sure. But, we're just getting towards the end of the fiscal year. And so this is about the time where board members start popping up, checking in on us. So just, want to keep everybody at a nice even keel for today's all staff. But, just, be ready to answer any questions about your programs and your paperwork. Have everything, I's dotted, T's crossed. You're a rock star, so I know you'll be fine. But, just making sure that I give everybody the heads up.
Is there anything important that we need to know that they might be asking for today?
Not that I know of. Like, this was kind of, a little impromptu, but, there's lots of things around the city changing. So I'm sure that, it's just either them checking in or giving some updates. Who knows? Maybe we got a new grant.
So, okay. And I look at Kimmy and go, well, whatever information I have, whatever information you're able to give me, I would be more than happy to help, especially if it helps us get another grant and, keeps us out of the line of fire, as it were. And I would like to use my gumshoe trait, which is I get a bonus die for social test as long as I'm attempting to discover something that someone knows but hasn't said yet.
Okay.
And the thing that I'm trying to discover is whether or not Kimmy has been informed about something in this board meeting. That about why it's happening that she isn't saying.
Okay. All right. Walk me through how you approached this.
Oh God. How many things can you stack on stuff?
In general, several.
The other one that I get from Blackest Betrayal is this one is going to be a bit difficult, especially given yesterday. So here's what I have. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how bonus die plus malice die work. So Gumshoe gives me a bonus die for social test if I'm attempting to discover something that hasn't been said. Blackest Betrayal gives me bonus die for things that help me sense ulterior motives, but also gives me malice die when I try to interact with someone non-confrontationally.
Okay.
So I don't know if those just cancel each other out or if that's you have a bonus die and a malice die. I don't know how that works.
So here's what I'm going to say here is that what it would be 2 bonus and a malice. So what I'm going to say is you can roll with 4 die.
Okay.
And let me know what your highest is.
Okay, the highest is a 10.
Okay. And I rolled for whether or not Kimmy actually figured anything of use out, and she absolutely did. So you continue this conversation, and Kimmy's like, okay, well, and kind of walks in and actually closes the door to your office.
And like I slide a little chair out if she wants to sit in the chair next to me.
She sits and she leans into you conspiratorially and says, okay, listen. So you didn't hear it from me, but what I heard is that, like, because of all the new things and the weird stuff going on in the city, the board's thinking of pivoting directions to make sure that we're not too objectionable, and they're coming to reveal the new organization strategy. And unfortunately, it might mean layoffs.
And there's like extra drama deflation, right? Just like, oh, not that. Like at a nonprofit, they came all the way over here for that, though.
Well, they want to be personable, show that people matter, even, though given how things are right now, we may have to let go of some of the more controversial programs.
Controversial programs, but this is like a community development program.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. I'm just, I'm sure they'll answer all of our questions. Just because it didn't make sense to me doesn't mean it doesn't make sense. We gotta kind of just, stay the path and do the good work, right? Just keep up the good work.
Are you okay?
Oh, I'm fine. You and we're doing, our work's not controversial, so it's fine. I'm worried about the folks that try to help to buy back the block. Like, organizations, those are the folks I think are getting cut.
Is there any way that we might be able to, I don't know, help them somehow?
Maybe we could, start a fund or something, but I'm not gonna lie. I just signed a new lease and I need this job.
I suppose if we can maybe we can do something indirect for them. I don't know. I just feel bad for them,
Well, I could be wrong. We don't know yet. We won't know till Miss Farson, and whatever other board members come and say what they're gonna say. So again, you didn't hear it from me. I could be wrong, but I have to go let the rest of the department know. So I'll see you in about 15 minutes.
Okay, I'll see you then. Thanks for letting me know.
And she hops up and leaves out your door. And that is where we are going to actually end this episode. Thank you for listening to Woke Mental Wellness Presents Windy City Nihilism, a 12 Inner Demons homebrew podcast. This podcast has been made possible in part thanks to a grant from Diversity Saves. Episodes are edited by Marissa Ewing of Hemlock Creek Productions. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a review and tell your friends. If you want to help financially, you can visit the Woke Mental Wellness Ko-Fi listed in the show notes. Take care, and remember, hope and resistance do best in community.